I had a lot of things planned for this week's video, or should I say last week's video. I had a lot of different ideas about what I wanted to do. Last week was my 1-year work anniversary. I have been at my job for a year. I've mentioned this before, but I work in a bookstore. I've never held a job this long. I normally get bored or angsty or antsy or whatever the word is. Basically, I need a change. So I usually leave after 6 or 7 months. But I had been trying to get a job at this... Interruptions. Back to the work anniversary. So I had been trying to get a job at this place for quite a while. I always knew that I wanted to work there because books have always been a part of my life, and this place was just big magical building filled with wondrous worlds. To me, it was kind of like, if you read Library of Souls, the house that has the ability to take you to all the different individual peculiar time loops. It's kind of like that, because all the time loops are the books. So I always knew I wanted to work there. So as soon as I moved in town, about 5.5, I think, 2015, yeah, 5.5 years, I tried every chance that I could to get a job. I applied and applied and applied. And then 2 years ago, I got fed up and I was in a store talking to one of the workers. It wasn't the store that I'm working in now. It was a sister store under the same company in the mall. And I asked, how do you get a job here? And she said, apply for seasonal. So last year I applied for seasonal and I got hired, and I've been there ever since. And it feels very weird to be staying in one place for so long. It's like I've been in this house for 2.5 years, and the only place I've lived that long before was my home where my parents live. Because before that, when we were living in town, I'm pretty sure we moved around a lot as well. So it's very different to be stationary, and it can be a little anxiety inducing, I guess, because I always feel like I need to be moving and going, and I think that's why I turn to books, because it gives me this ability to move and go and travel and experience all these things without actually staying, without actually going and doing these things, without actually having to spend the money, except just have to buy the book, which is a lot cheaper than a flight to Paris. So we live through these books, and I think this is why they're supposed to be teaching them in English courses, but I think it gets lost in the way that it's being taught. Because in high school, I asked an English teacher, I was like, what is the purpose of English class? I was like, why are you teaching us these things? And he didn't know, and then he goes, I think it's to allow you to experience things that you cannot experience on your own. And I think he was right, but I think this message gets lost in the questions of theme and mood and imagery and all these different things, because we're supposed to analyze these books to this minuscule degree, when we really should just be taking them at surface value and learning from the mistakes and the drama and the goings on that happens in the book. We should be learning from these, not trying to analyze them down to their particular parts. We can analyze why they got in certain situations, but not why the author put them in that situation. The author put them in that situation because it led to another situation. Because that's how life works. We do things to get to another end, and that end leads to another end, which leads to another end, which leads to what? I guess I could say happiness. It seems logical enough. Everyone just wants to be happy, but everyone's version of happy is different. What was the point of this video? This is what happens when I go on rambling tangents. Right, I was talking about different ideas for the video because I was going to do a video about my work anniversary, and then I considered doing a vlog type video because I've been watching Vlogmas videos all week and I actually really love them, especially the ones by Chelsea Does, Hannah Margaret. I will link their channels down below. They're actually fellow Newfoundlanders, which is really cool. I've never actually met them. They seem really awesome. You should definitely check them out. But I've just been so focused on school and reading because I really want to get to the 100 book goal as possible. I don't think I'm going to get it considering we're just over a week away from Christmas, and that's about 5 days away from the end of the year. 6 days, 7, 6 or 7, something like that, away from the end of the year. But I am really trying. I have been listening to audiobooks. I've just finished City of Lost Souls. I have a review posted for that up on my blog, messybookshelf.ca. And I'm currently listening to Flawless, which is the second Pretty Little Liars book by Sarah Shepard. And I'm plugging through Air of Fire. I'm hoping over the next few days, I have the next 3 days off and my exams aren't really running too long. So I'm hoping I can really dig into this novel. I'm about halfway through it and I would really like to get it finished before the weekend if possible so I could start something else. I'm thinking something small, maybe the Sailor Moon manga, or Just One Day, or the 100, because they seem like they would be quick reads and they're a lot smaller than the other books that I have chosen, although I may pick up Carry On because I really want to get to that one. And if I do pick up Carry On, there's not a good chance that I'm going to get too many other books before the end of the year, so I'll be really depending on the audiobooks, which I have been doing really well. I mostly listen to audiobooks now instead of listening to music or anything else. I tend to wake up and put one on right away, or I put one on when I'm going to bed. I listen to them when I'm going to sleep and I just set a bookmark and then I just go back to the bookmark the next day. So that's kind of a general update as to what's been going on over this past week. Yeah, I'm going to go and edit this together before I go out to dinner with Emily Jane, and then I think we're going to go see The Christmas Carol, a play. So I don't know much info. We're going out with her mom, so I'm just following the pack at this point. But I will see you next week. Bye!